Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on the midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. Please make sure you hit the like if you haven't already done so. I want to welcome all of you to the best show on this side of heaven, reporting live from the greatest country on this side of heaven as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome AB, Audrey, welcome in the house, Musa, and all the people that are watching in the clouds. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about Nigeria, the situation in Nigeria, because the president, our president, Donald Trump, is finally speaking on the situation in Nigeria, because I'm sure you guys have heard about Boko Haram. And I'll give you a brief history of Boko Haram, because you see, I noticed when President Obama, the mulatto president, when he was in charge, all of a sudden, all these little Islamist groups, started popping up. First, it was ISIS. You guys remember ISIS? ISIS was another Islamic group that had a black flag, just like Boko Haram. So they came into play during the time of Barack Hussein Obama. I mean, no suspicion there, right? So somehow they said, okay, the war in Iraq, stopped. But all of a sudden, this group went into the desert and they found, brand new pickup trucks, hundreds and hundreds of them already, equipped with weapons. So, these people were just walking in the desert. They came up on it. And those people were also going around in the Middle East, in, Syria, Iraq, attacking and killing the Christians there and destroying, churches, Christian history. So during President Trump's first term, he focused on ISIS and he wiped them off within months. You guys remember this? Most of you probably weren't following that news. So at the same time, during President Obama's time, Boko Haram came into play in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria. So in northern Nigeria, these people want to practice Sharia law. And we've been seeing lots and lots of things happening in northern Nigeria. So it's finally catching on. So President Trump issued a warning, a statement to Nigeria to let them know military action is coming, because somehow the Nigerian government have been informed, which they don't need to be. They knew about it. So the excuse that, you know, the president of Nigeria, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and his people were given, they kept saying, oh, everybody suffers from the crime. But is that so? So I went online, did my research. A lot of Nigerians are actually welcoming this, because they, since the Nigerian government is not going to do anything about Boko Haram, now President Trump is saying we are not going to sit around and watch Boko Haram, run roughshod all around all around Nigeria in the north. They just keep going to different churches, massacring people. And I get it. There's going to be some people who are going to be like, oh, this is just another sort of invasion. But what are they going to do about the Boko Haram question? So Trump sent the message to the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and he responded. He said they are preparing and they are about to light up Nigeria like a Christmas tree, a huge Christmas tree. That's what they're about to do. But before we get into it, let me give you a brief background, because these videos are coming from years ago. The Nigerian government clearly do not have the firepower to take care of Boko Haram. So now President Trump is stepping up, and they've done the investigation. They've done the geo-mapping on these groups, and I guess it is time to take care of them. But I'm going to play you the videos. I don't want to keep you waiting. Let's get straight into the news so that, you guys can see what is happening in Nigeria. Because you see, Nigeria, we have their president, Tinubu. You guys remember when they were flexing their muscle on Niger and Burkina Faso? They're talking about, you guys should bring back those presidents, the French puppets, to rule those people. They are like, yeah, we're gonna show up with our army. So let's see if they're gonna do the same thing here. Nigeria is in big trouble right now. They are in big trouble. Some of their people are online talking mess, but this is not child's play. Boko Haram is about to be wiped out. President Trump gave them an option. Is the Nigerian government going to do something about Boko Haram? Because the world cannot just sit around and watch them run around, just killing people willy-nilly, all in the name of what? Religion? They say they want to practice Sharia. In Saudi Arabia, they practice Sharia over there, but they're not running around, killing their own people. But these people are using barbaric and savagery, and all in the name of Islam, their religion. They want to wipe out. They want to wipe out the other people that believe in other faith other than what they believe in. So let me show you what is being done. This is for fair use here. So we will get straight into some of the Afridamus clips here. Let's go. All right. So now let us go straight to the 700 Club, which is, so they are calling it a genocide. And once the white people start focusing, and they don't play with you trying to wipe out the Christians. Once the 700 Club is focused on you, you are done. You are done. So here we go.
Nigeria, millions of Christians are persecuted by Islamic terror groups. The Nigerian government is doing very little to stop the attacks. Well, now religious freedom advocates, including one member of the U.S. Congress, are taking action. CBN's Kelly Wright has this look at the crisis.
On this very day, 210 persons were slaughtered in one night, in less than 24 hours.
The video from the Father's Day massacre includes graphic images of people being burned alive, families attacked, and homes destroyed in Yelawata, Nigeria.
That very day, it was raining, so Fulani herdsmen, they invaded the community.
And you guys know we've been hearing about Boko Haram for years now doing this stuff. So I don't want people to come here and be like, oh, why do the white people care? Well, it's a new government. Have you noticed how some Africans, you like, you know, when people point out to try to use the bad African government as a representation of Africa, they're like, no, it's just that government. You want the benefit of the doubt. Why don't you want to give that same benefit of the doubt to the United States of America? You know, they had like a woke government earlier, Biden, Kamala, and their people. You know, obviously, you guys know they don't care about anybody. They just want to pass that LGBTQ stuff all over and use their foot soldiers, the Islamists, to do the cleansing. So it looks like that's what's happening here in Nigeria. So let's just take it for what it is and, you know, see if Boko Haram can be wiped out of Nigeria, because we need peace in Nigeria.
I claimed so many lives.
Around 12 midnight, we started having calls from Yerwata that the Fulanis have come and they are killing, burning.
Friday night, I was sleeping in my house. See my house there. I come here, they shoot gun. Later, they come, they break the house. Where my brother is sleeping here with his children. Thereby, they come, they kill people. They were breaking the house. Say, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar.
These first-hand accounts gathered by Truth Nigeria journalists describe the ongoing atrocities in a terror campaign to eradicate Nigeria's Christians. Judd Saul, filmmaker and missionary, the organizer of Equipping the Persecuted, highlighted this documentary as a way to sound the alarm.
We need to fight this thing threefold. One, America as a government needs to get involved with a very little. I'm talking very little of our resources. If we just did the very little bit of push an aggressive foreign policy, throw some sanctions, whatever it takes, I think we can put a significant dent in this.
So are you guys seeing that? So this is happening in Nigeria. The Nigerian government, clearly, they are not doing anything about this. You see? So now other Christians around the world, like the United States, are saying, we cannot sit back and allow this to happen. So therefore, they are going to take action. The United States have sent the warning to the president of Nigeria and its government, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that if they are ready to come in and light up the north of Nigeria like Christmas tree. That's right. You guys remember the last show? I did a show on Sudan. Did you guys remember this? If you haven't already seen it, go back and watch it. The same group of people. I showed the clips over here where the same people were running around and, you know, just indiscriminately killing people. And they are all using the same tactics, the same religious talking point. So they believe they are waging a religious war. So, because if you look at it, you know, the NGOs, they quote unquote, they talk about the USAID. So those people somehow, those people were the ones sponsoring Boko Haram. Can you imagine? Is it possible that they are the ones bringing in the weapons? Why would they spend that time to try to trick those people? Because after they did the cutbacks on USAID, because some of you people, when you hear, oh, they are bringing aid to Africa, but who is that quote unquote aid going to? Because you see these people pretend like they are helping, but they are taking this money and aid, quote unquote, and go give it to groups like Boko Haram so that they can continue, wiping out, people in that region. So now Trump is saying, enough is enough. We are here to put a stop to it. So these good white people are saying, no. We cannot sit back, allowing these people to attack and kill our fellow Christians. And do you blame them? Do you? No. So let us continue, and I'll show you more.
Put a stop to this.
U.S. Representative Chris Smith of New Jersey, who has traveled to many dangerous areas in Nigeria, has introduced a resolution in Congress to help stop attacks fueled by religious hatred.
There has been an exponential increase in attacks on Christians and some Muslims, but Christians in particular. Protestants, evangelicals, Catholics, they're firebombing their churches. The Fulani are killing them with absolute impunity. We've called on the government in Abuja and the president several times to do what governments do, law enforcement. Use the military if you have to, but stop this genocide and do it now.
The resolution points to Nigeria's government's apparent open border policy that allows almost free access to the country. Fulani militants and ISIS-linked extremist groups from neighboring countries take advantage of this policy to carry out mass murder, rape, and kidnappings.
Are you guys hearing that? So apparently Nigeria government have this open border policy. So they have all, these so-called jihadists from all over neighboring countries. Like last time when I was talking about Sudan, and I gave you guys a wide range of these groups that are running roughshod all around Africa. And some people think I was probably just, doing, talking about conspiracy. No. This is not conspiracy. I'm sure you guys have heard about the, some Nigerians tell you about, the Fulanis attacking, people in those regions. So it looks like you got people coming from Chad, Sudan, even all the way from Libya, in the desert. They are coming. These fighters are coming. Some are even coming as far all the way from Somalia to go participate in the religious cleansing of people in this region. And these people are Nigerian citizens. What is the Nigerian government doing? Since the Nigerian government is not doing anything about it, now President Trump is like, no, we're gonna step in. We're gonna step in. So let's hear more.
We're also calling on President Trump to reissue, which he did in his first term, the designation of country of particular concern. And that then gives the president wide latitude to impose sanctions. It's an excellent bill when it's used properly. It gets the attention of all the policymakers, in this case in Abuja. It says, we're not kidding.
During a White House press briefing, I asked Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt about the crisis in Nigeria. And do you know if there's any action that the president will take?
I'm not tracking a call between the president and the head of Nigeria. I know the president wholeheartedly condemns the persecution of Christians or, frankly, of people of any faith all over the world, but I don't have any updates for you in terms of sanctions in this part of the world.
Looking beyond any government response, Judge Saul is calling on the church and Christians in America to stand with the persecuted in Nigeria.
They need to pray. They need to be a voice for the voiceless. They need to be a voice for our persecuted brothers and sisters.
Kelly Wright, CBN News.
Well, whatever pressure we can put on the Nigerian government, we need to put it on the Nigerian government. They're the one responsible for the safety of their own citizens, and to let these armed groups have sort of free reign in the northern part of Nigeria makes no sense. And I don't understand that these sort of continual struggles coming out of Nigeria. You need to establish law and order in your own country. You can't have your women, your girls kidnapped. You can't have people murdered in the streets. You can't have these churches burned to the ground. All of that is happening, and it's happening on their watch. So,
exactly. So you've seen and heard that, right? And I already see some of you saying, "Oh, this is propaganda." I mean, like, I don't get it. Some of you, it doesn't matter what it is, just because you have some sort of hatred for the white man, so therefore you think everything is about that. So I'll show you. This didn't just start this year. It did not start this year, but I'll show you here the action, finally, what President Trump is taking here. So let me show you the latest on that. Here we go.
An urgent message from President Trump demanding Nigeria stop the brutal murders of thousands of Christians in the country or face possible action from the Pentagon. He posted in part, quote, "The USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities." Paul Adamu is a Nigerian Christian.
So you guys are hearing this. So when they are going in to take out the Boko Haram terrorists. So who here is going to be opposed to that? I'm just curious. Who would be opposed to the US Army going there and getting rid of Boko Haram? I just want to know. So Trump is serious about this. He said we're coming in with guns blazing. And the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, responded. He let the president know, we are ready. We are ready to take action in Nigeria. He said, we're going to come in, and let me read his exact words. He said, breaking news. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth just responded to President Trump's order to eliminate terrorist killing Christians in Nigeria. Pete Hegseth said, yes, sir. The killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and anywhere must end immediately. The Department of War is preparing for action. Either the Nigerian government protects Christians or we will kill the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. So this is now child's play. They are ready, like President Trump said, we're ready to come in, guns blazing, and stop all this nonsense and shenanigans that is taking place currently. So let's hear a little bit more.
Who was kidnapped by Boko Haram 2 years ago. He joins us now. It's so wonderful to have you on the show. Please tell us what happened to you.
It was such a disheartening situation. 2 years ago, I was kidnapped by the dreaded Boko Haram along my way to the airport while I was traveling to Cameroon to meet some of my colleagues, and then I got kidnapped along the line, along the route.
And you were held for how long?
12 days.
Okay. And there are many people, especially young girls, who have been kidnapped by Boko Haram, put into forced marriages, forced conversions. They're still in captivity. The situation there is quite dire. You heard what President Trump has said. Here's what Nigeria's president has said in response. He said that the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere efforts of the government to safeguard freedom of religion and beliefs for all Nigerians. What's your message? What's it like to be a Christian in Nigeria?
First, I want to thank and applaud the United States of American President Donald Trump for designating Nigeria as a CPC, because this is one of the things that we have always wanted. For the message of the Nigerian president, that I think at this point, I will say that there is a time when propaganda has no appeal, where propaganda has lost an appeal. And this is actually the time, because whatever is happening in Nigeria at this moment, I would say that Nigeria is the worst place to be as a Christian, like the worst place in the whole of the world to be as a Christian, because you wake up every day with news of killings. Every day with news of massacring of Christians. It's totally a genocide that is happening here in Nigeria. There is nothing anybody will tell me, because I have been in here for as long as I know. I've been in these places where these attacks have taken place. I've seen women who are crying for the loss of their husbands. I've seen children who are crying for the loss of their parents. I've seen parents who are crying for the loss of their children. I've been to churches that have been burnt down. These are not things that I've heard from the news or someone telling me. This is something that I witnessed somewhere. I've been myself. I've witnessed where terrorism is at the highest point, where people are killed and slaughtered like chickens every day.
Paul, I don't have a lot of time left, but I just want to ask you one last question. How have you and other Christians kept the faith during this persecution?
We are grateful for the organization I work with.
So you see, once it gets to Fox News and they bring someone named Paul like that, interviewing him, he get interviewed by the white woman, you know they're about to go in. They've already geo-mapped everything. Right now, the only thing that's left is the action. And we would bring what the president, Tinubu, he said about this whole thing.
Irish Global, who have taken it upon themselves to care for these persecuted Christians by providing relief materials, emergency kits, and then also providing them with discipleship, where they are being told that despite all that is happening to them, Christ still loves them.
Paul Adamu, just so you know, the African church, the Nigerian church in particular, the Christians there have been an amazing example of faith through persecution and martyrdom, and we are praying for all of you very much, and we hope the president will do something that will make a difference for your religious freedom in your country. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it, and God bless you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
All right. You've seen and heard that. Yeah, so they brought Paul. You guys heard the story of Paul here. Paul said he was kidnapped by Boko Haram on his way to Cameroon. So it's like Nigerians, don't even have, freedom of movement there. It sounds like no freedom of movement. So Nigeria's president responded. He responded to all these allegations, and let us see what the Nigerian president is saying about all of this. Let's see what he's going to do about it. So here we go.
Nigerian President Bola Tinubu is hoping to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump, who earlier threatened military action over alleged killing of Christians. The U.S. president says he has asked the Pentagon to map out a possible plan of attack. Trump's warning came a day after he had said that Christianity was facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Trump said if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the United States will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria He then went on to mention the possibility of a military action to wipe out Islamic terrorists who are committing horrible atrocities. Nigerians have had a varied reaction to Donald Trump's threats, with some welcoming assistance, while the government officially refutes his claims and questions the underlying motives and characterization of Nigeria.
U.S. strike or military infantry intervention is going to be the solution. It's welcome. It's welcome. What we want is peace.
Trump's Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, responded to Trump's post, saying that his department is preparing for action. He added, either the Nigerian government protects Christians or we will kill the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. They did not add how U.S. will target these alleged terrorists. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu had earlier pushed back on Trump, announcing the day before that he was designating the West African country a country of particular concern for allegedly failing to rein in the persecution of Christians. In a social media statement on Saturday, Tinubu said that the characterization of Nigeria as a religiously intolerant country does not reflect the national reality. Several U.S. lawmakers, including Senator Ted Cruz, had claimed that Christian genocide and persecution in Nigeria has been on the rise. Nigeria is divided between a Muslim-majority north and a largely Christian south. Figures show that between 2019 and 2023, nearly 17,000 Christians were killed in the country. In just the first 7 months of this year, more than 7,000 victims have been reported. However, experts say that the violence is indiscriminate. The country is consumed by security issues. Its northeastern region is at the epicenter of a Boko Haram jihadist insurgency. And for more details, our correspondent Louisa Olaniyi sent us this report from Lagos.
But you see, the crazy thing is, for example, the Nigerian government, they always come and say, oh, it's everybody, who are being victimized. But what are they doing about Boko Haram? I mean, I would think the government would welcome this, because that would be a help for them to get rid of Boko Haram. Bring in the U.S. firepower, so they can wipe them out. Because Nigeria itself have been battling Boko Haram, as far as I know. So they should welcome it so that they can get rid of Boko Haram. It would be quick, clean, and swift, just like they did to ISIS. But in the north, apparently the leaders of the north, they are opposed to this, so it means they are protecting Boko Haram. They are protecting it. So, I mean, and the world shouldn't sit back and allow Boko Haram to continue to just kill people because of faith. That shouldn't be accepted. So let's continue.
U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to cut all U.S. aid and launch strikes on Islamist militants unless the Nigerian government stops the killings of Christians. He redesignated Nigeria a religious freedom violator Friday, calling attacks an existential threat. Although Nigerian authorities reject the label, saying Nigeria guarantees religious liberty for all, but blames security and resource conflict, not genocide. It has been a mixed reaction in the country, though it is a known fact that Islamist Boko Haram, ISWAP, and other splinter groups massacre people in northern Nigeria, which most times cut across religious groups. However, there have been some killings that seem targeted at Christians. President Tinubu had earlier said his government is committed to working with the United States to curb the menace. From Lagos, Nigeria, Louisa Olaniyi, we on World is One.
All right. Thank you, Riza Olamiye, for that wonderful report. So, yeah, that's what's going on out there. And, we've been seeing reports prior to all this. So, one more clip and then I'll open up the line, because it's only fair for us to show, on Nigerian talk show their take on this. But before that, there is a, a Nigerian, some of these, they are talk show people. Let's see, one guy who wrote, he writes that they are ready. I mean, he's a keyboard warrior. He said they are ready for action against the US. But that's just talk, right? So let us hear from the one here, and then I'll open up the line. So make sure you get your A game ready. If this topic is too heavy for you, you just sit back and enjoy. If you're going to be one of the people that's going to make it about your own problems, today is not Therapy Sunday. We would do Therapy Sunday would be next week. So this is about Nigeria. Only people who know about real geopolitics and how things work. If you only know about your neighborhood or your group of people around you, today this one will not be for you. You are just here to listen. I just want to make sure I make that clear before I open up the line. All right, thank you all. And please, when you call, stick to the topic. All right.
Here is my take for today, entitled How Nigeria Can Avoid U.S. Sanctions on the Killings. I have a few points. The first is that Christians, including myself, have seen a pattern of killings, which strongly suggests that people are being killed for reasons related to their faith. There's no point denying that. Now, I was one of the brains behind the Christian Association of Nigerians in America in the United States.
So, you guys are hearing this directly from a Nigerian Christian, because if I had just only played the video of the white people from Fox 700 Club and the other channels, you guys might be like, oh, it's propaganda. But let's hear directly from, Nigerian person giving their take on this. The link is in the chat. You can hit it, but, just hang tight in the background. I will bring you as soon as I'm done with this here.
States around 2012, and I personally related with several of such Christians in the northern part of Nigeria, especially, whose relatives have been killed because they were Christians. At least those were the words spoken to the victims by their murderers before killing them, most of the times in the presence of their children and their wives. There are tons of examples like that. Let me show you one of those. See this video.
Say, it's okay. Are you a Christian? I say, yes, I'm a Christian. Say, Habila, why we are preaching the Islamic way of gospel to you? You refuse to accept Islam. And I told them that I am a Christian. I am a Christian. Say, Habila, you can deny your faith in order to be safe. I say, no, I am a Christian. Say, Habila, do you mean you are ready to die as a Christian? I say, yes, I am ready to die as a Christian. One of them tried to fire me. The leader stopped him. Say, Habila, you are a good man. We know your history. Habila, you have opportunity to live. Only if you can deny your faith. We can.
So you guys hearing that? So these people are going around, and I know for some of you are going to be like, how is that possible? Well, just because that's not happening here in the United States or wherever you are. These are, you've heard Boko Haram. If you haven't, we have their, video statements. They said they want an Islamic caliphate. So in an Islamic caliphate, everybody got to be, Muslim, or else you die. That's what that's the option they give the people. And in this 2025, especially in a country where everybody's allowed to practice their faith, that shouldn't be allowed. So the United States, good that they are stepping in.
leave you. You can leave. I say, no. I cannot deny my faith. I am a Christian. Say, Habila, I will give you last chance. Are you ready to die as a Christian? I say, yes, I'm ready to die as a Christian. Before I close my mouth, one of them fired me through my nose. This is the entering place of the bullet, where the bullet entered through my nose. Yeah, this is the exit place of the bullet, where the bullets came out.
DG, do you not see the guy? There are people dying. I get that you guys want to do all that, filibustering, but guys, sometimes let's cut it out with, that type of talk. Like, I mean, I get that you're Muslim, but I mean, have some compassion for these people. Like, they shouldn't be forced. Like, I get that sometimes, like you say, divide and conquer, but that's not the case here. These people are literally, we've been getting news about Boko Haram for years. This is nothing new. Yeah, I get that sometimes that's like the word divide and conquer conspiracy, but that's not the thing here. Even if there's like a nefarious idea behind it, but this right here has to stop. These people are not living in peace there. They are getting attacked for their faith. So, like, what are they supposed to do? They should just allow themselves to be wiped out? Is that your suggestion?
But it is also true that non-Christians, and more specifically, several Muslims have also been victims of these killings. Some accounts even say that there are more Muslim victims, as a matter of fact. So the point is that both Christians and Muslims are victims of these egregious killings that is happening in our country and that's been going on for far too long. This is not a problem of today. We must say that. It's a problem that has been going on for at least more than a decade. Despicable killings in several parts of this country. Okay? And so there are different reasons why people are being killed, and there are different motivations. So we shouldn't be frozen in an argument whether these are Christian killings or whether these are Muslim killings. What is important is these are Nigerians who are being killed on a continuous basis for no just cause.
The man is right. I mean, think about it. Okay, let's remove, like, let's say, the religious aspect of it. Why is the Nigerian government allowing a group to run around killing the citizens of that country? Why? Why isn't this an emergency? This is like a war zone level killing. I mean, if you haven't seen the show about Sudan, go and watch it. It's pretty much similar. So even just literally removing the label, but what about the killings? What right do they have to go around killing people? That's my question.
Therefore, we should try to work together, all Nigerians, both in government and those that are outside government. We should work together on how we can bring an end to these dastardly acts of violence that is taking people's lives without a cause and rather wickedly. I concede that we need to play down the divisive rhetoric. We really don't need to be divided over this matter. Christians believe that there are people that are being killed among their community for their faith. There is evidence to back that. there's also evidence to back the fact that there are non-Christians who are also being killed. And so we can build a consensus around the fact that Nigerians are being killed. And in my mind, that is the first thing that the federal government ought to do, namely to rally all of us behind the fact that we must together do everything we can do to end these killings, regardless of the motivations behind those killings. Let me say that again. We have to act as a people and our government together to end all these killings, regardless of the motivations. These killings are wrongful acts. They are violent.
All right, you guys seen and heard that. So yeah, some of the videos I have is they are gruesome. So we will probably save that for possibly when we go into part 2 of this. So the link is in the chat. Hit the link, come join the conversation here. I have Archer in the back. Archer, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Archer, unmute your mic. Archer, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I mean, I'm not sure. I think Archer is asleep. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the link is in the chat. Do you guys think, let me see that, Great Africa say, why is Trump not sending troops to Congo or Sudan but Nigeria? The motive is oil, but these MAGA cultists will side by the supreme leader, even if it's, well, so if he sent the troops to the Congo, you would say the same thing. You would say the same thing. So what is your point? The link is in the chat. Instead of you cowering in the chat, why don't you come up and give us, your point of view? All points of views are welcome here. You don't have to, sit in the chat and continue to write like a little girl. Just come up here, give us your point of view. You are, asking the wrong person. Why didn't Trump go to Congo? I don't know. You might want to write to Mr. Trump and ask him this. The question is what Nigeria being accused of? Are they, is that what's happening? Are these killings taking place as they described? You heard it from the people there. And I can show you videos upon videos, people saying the same things. And we've been hearing about Boko Haram for years. So it's not like Trump just came out of the blue and manufactured it. So I don't understand the point you're trying to make. It's rather silly to sit here for you to fix your finger and type what you are typing. If you cannot be a solution to what these people are facing, why do you keep writing silly stuff? Oh, why didn't he go to Congo? How would I know that? Oh, why didn't he go to planet Mars? How would I know that? The link is in the chat. Just hit the link and you can come give your point of view from, what you are seeing and hearing. We can deal with the information we have at hand. But all these hypotheticals and your silly thoughts, that's not reality, buddy. It's not reality. Get out of your feelings and face reality. I only deal with facts. I don't deal with, whatever silly things you have in your head. All right? So let's bring in Archer. Archer, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Hey, Afridamus.
Archer, what's your take on President Trump, and the government wanting to go to Nigeria to wipe out, these Islamic jihadists that are running roughshod there in Nigeria? They've been doing this for years, So finally, he wants to go. He's gonna go in and get rid of them. What's your take?
I mean, to me, it's I don't know how the Nigerian government or state itself has not been able to deal with the situation in that region. And
That's the $1,000,000 question.
what I would like to know too is how much support do these groups, insurgency groups, have in that region to of the local people, because if you try to go in there and do it and the local people don't support that action, it can lead to even more issues,
Yeah, but
like
you're saying like the people who are the victims,
right?
They, they want it. They want this action to take place. So
Right.
at this point, obviously, the perpetrators, yes, they're not gonna want anybody else to come in. They want to be able to continue, their mission. So that makes sense for them to, because they are the perpetrators. But the other side wants this to stop. And now here's a powerful force that can stop it. So what's your take on that?
I don't know if what I'm trying to say. I don't know if America can stop it. Now,
Well, we'll
with
have to give it a
American
chance.
military might, right? America can go in there and I would say maybe America could stop it if they really put the kind of resources behind it or bring it down to a level where you don't have the same level of violence just because they're there.
Well,
You
Trump
know?
was able to stop and wipe out, ISIS. Do you hear about ISIS anymore?
No, I haven't really heard about it.
Exactly,
But,
because when Trump came in, he wiped them off. I believe that, he can, completely, wipe out Boko Haram. I
the
believe
thing
the
is,
U.S. Army have the capability to do
right.
that.
Remember, before ISIS, there were other groups that were in insurgencies, right? In Iraq and stuff that got stamped out too, right? You had ISIS was a
Yes.
group. You had the guy al-Baghdadi. You had all kinds of groups over there
Well,
doing
well,
stuff.
well. A lot of these groups, you have to remember, are also this. Um, they are sponsored by, globalists, who want to destabilize these places so that they can, take the resources that are out there. So, it's like these people have their motives, because the jihadists want to be able to get rid of those who don't share their faith, right? They already want to do that. And this other group, the globalists, they have their motive of getting what they want. So they sponsor these people. They become the foot soldiers to go and take care of business. That's how it's done. That's what was going on in Syria, Iraq. Like you look at the president of Syria, he was one of the leaders of the ISIS terrorist group. So the question is, do you think the Nigerian government would comply? I mean, the president wants to meet with Trump to discuss this. So do you think the Nigerian government will comply and start fighting harder?
I mean, well, you just mentioned to someone about hypotheticals, and not interjecting your own ideas in and stuff like that. And
Well,
essentially,
from what
I
you're
don't know.
seeing, like you're seeing, I'm going off of the information
Yeah,
here
but I
that
don't know
we
what's the
have.
proof that there's globalists, and
Oh, there's
I
that.
don't
That's
even
the
know if
proof.
ISIS was really supported by the president of Syria. If I'm not wrong, I think they're
No, I'm not
against him.
saying they did. The member, this guy, the current president. Do you know anything about ISIS
Yeah, I
or
have an idea
Syria?
about it a little bit about it. But
Okay,
the current guy is like supported by because remember the president fled to Russia. Bashar al-Assad, he fled to Russia.
that's
But I think
correct.
that the guys that were fighting him, like ISIS and stuff, I don't think ISIS was. I think ISIS was against him, if I'm not wrong. You know, and sometimes we're looking at it as a religious thing, but sometimes maybe they're united on religion, but religion is not really uh, sometimes the real reason for these conflicts. I think sometimes these conflicts are for power. Really, at the end of the day, is to be able to get the resources of an area. The groups that are fighting for resources or political rights and this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Now they might have an idea or be of a first certain religion, but there's also these other things that are causing them to fight. You know?
I mean, who cares what their reason is? What about the indiscriminate killing?
Well, I mean, that's what happens in conflicts a lot of times, right?
Well,
There's
now that's what
indiscriminate
I'm
killing. You know?
since it's not a conflict when you are the one with the weapon, the other people don't have weapon, you're running around, taking them out. Someone else has to come and take you out as well. Do you
Right.
support the US, taking military action?
I don't support the U.S. maybe going in there and putting boots on the ground. Say, I would
No, they're not
support
gonna
maybe something
no,
like what they do. Like,
they're not gonna put no boots on the ground, just like they didn't do with ISIS. It's you know, you geo map, the targets, and it's simple as
I
that. You
think the
take them
U.S.
out.
had boots on the ground in Iraq, in Syria, if I'm not wrong, or in
Well,
Iraq, close
yeah, they
by.
were
So they were
already
kind of
there,
there. Yeah.
but they were already there. But I'm just saying, because they can just do this job without being, putting boots
And by the
on the
way,
ground.
Russia was there helping the Syrian government too, right?
Oh yeah, forget Syria. Let's talk about
But the thing,
Nigeria.
but we just mentioned ISIS. Once you mention ISIS, you're talking about Syria. So I'm just mentioning that
Right.
because you brought it up. But the thing about it is, if the U.S. wants to do like what they did maybe with Ukraine, where they were helping with weapons and things like that for the people that want to defend their rights, because that's a question too. Because where are these insurgencies committing these atrocities? Is it in areas they control, or in areas they live, or are they going into other areas and doing these type of things? And then the other question becomes, how come the local people have their own militia groups that are fighting back against these people if the government can't provide that security? You
They
see?
obviously don't. So it's not a fair balance of power. So that's
Then
where the Nigerian government is responsible for protecting its citizens.
right. Because that would become the question, like, how come they don't have the weapons? Say, if they don't have weapons, why doesn't the government? If the government said they can't
Because civilians are not
defend
allowed to
them,
have
why don't they
weapons
just
on the
give the
night
weapons to defend themselves then?
they don't have the right to own weapons. So that's why the government is being tasked, since they have the laws, that prevents them from owning weapons. That means they have to protect these people, but they are not
Right.
doing that. You get it?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, like I said, man, if the U.S. wants to provide some logistical support and stuff like that, and then again, I would have to understand the conflict to a greater level to see, if it makes sense long term for the US to really get involved in a major way. Because like I can understand Ukraine a little better, say it's easier because you have a state going at another state, right? And the people of Ukraine, they want to maintain their government and live in freedom and control their areas. And so they, as a people, you decide to fight back. So now you're supporting one force against another force, and it's kind of easier to understand. This situation is like it's more like a civil war almost. It's like
No, this
they're
is not a
fighting within the
civil
same
war.
country,
No, it's not a
or an
civil war.
insurgency within the same country. You
No,
know, it's like
it's not a civil war.
because Boko Haram's the Nigerian citizens, right? These
No,
are
no, no, no,
Nigerian
no.
citizens, right?
No, did you hear that there's foreign fighters coming too? And Boko Haram is a designated terrorist group operating. So that's why the US doesn't, the government, president doesn't need any Congress approval whatsoever. If they are designated as a terror group, you know, the US Army can go in. What if your group is, if any group is designated as that, you know, it doesn't matter where they're at. If the US can go in and
I don't know
take
if
them
that's
out.
true.
No, that is true.
100% even.
Oh no, that is
No.
true. 100%.
I'd have to look that up. I don't think that's
Look
true.
it up.
Because I think even if you're designated as a terrorist group, I think Congress still has to get involved.
No, 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 no. Congress don't have to sign to approve, because it's not like you going to war with a state. They can just give orders to go and take people out. Remember Osama bin Laden?
Yeah, but Congress approved that war.
No, he was designated a
Yeah,
terrorist.
remember
He was living in Pakistan.
Pakistan,
This is
right?
true.
Yeah.
So US is not at war with Pakistan, but they were able to hit people in that country who are considered terrorists. But let's go to Princip. Princip, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Yeah, what's up, Professor? How you doing, man?
I'm well. Let's hear your part here, your take on everything that you've seen and heard here.
Yeah, a lot of it is propaganda, because it's not just the Christians that's getting attacked, man. And I think
Okay,
you know that.
fine. Let's say if it's not only them, but who cares? If as long as if somebody can stop the killings, you know.
Yeah, but why frame it that way? Why just not just offer the help? Because they already purchased weapons from Trump to begin with. They purchased helicopters from Trump. They purchased guns that the Biden administration didn't even allow them. Yes, it is. You can look it up. It's articles, bro.
Boko Haram didn't get guns from Trump, bro.
No, I'm talking about the Nigerian government was already in communications of buying weapons to protect Nigeria, and they're in conversations with Trump. Why does Trump need to phrase it as there is a major attack on Christians when this is something that started 300 years ago? It's the same thing that ties into the transatlantic slave trade. This is connected to the Islamic expansion, bro.
Okay,
this
fine.
is connected.
Okay, hold on. Let's stay in this century that we are in, because you know, we don't have tapes of 300 years ago.
Okay.
And you know, so you know, let's just deal with.
There's writings about those people's creed, and it ties to this, where they're talking about they're not only attacking Christians, they're attacking Islamists who doesn't have the strict variation of Sharia like them. They're attacking African traditionalists who don't subscribe to the Arab.
So, okay,
but they majority.
So can you hear me?
Saying,
man, your phone, your audio is messing up.
The majority of people getting attacked is Christians. So why are you denying that fact? I don't know.
His audio is messing up. Let's bring Fortnite Mike. Fortnite Mike, let's hear from you as well. Go ahead, Fortnite Mike.
I feel like the majority of people getting attacked are Christians, but I don't know.
Yes, that's what it's been. Yeah, I mean, you know, like
I don't know why he's denying that.
Some of these people, they just kind of like, as long as you know Trump can cure cancer, you know, they think they're going against Trump. Like reality is not connecting with them. Because they don't have any, you know, they don't have no compassion for those people. They don't care about the people there.
No.
They just want to push their little feelings that they have, you know. So that's why.
I'm saying, why does he have to phrase it that way? I'm not saying I'm in disagreement.
Because that's what he has to phrase it. Because it's true.
It's not true. They're attacking mostly Muslims.
Hold on. And you know this.
The traditionalists.
Hold on. And you know this.
They're not targeting Muslims.
Hold on. Because the same conflict is connected to Sahel.
Hold on, Prince.
Yeah,
And you know this how?
the same conflict connects to the rest of the Sahel. The
No,
same
no, no, no,
conflict
no.
connects
Hold
to
on,
what's
hold
going
on.
on
No,
in
no,
Somalia,
no, 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 no.
Sudan.
So the statement you made, let's stick with Nigeria. You know this how?
Because you don't read about the weekly or damn near every 2 weeks
So you
market
know,
attacks that's going on in northern Nigeria.
so the churches that are getting attacked, people getting killed, those people, that's a lie.
He
No,
think
no,
it's
no,
a
no. I'm
lie.
not saying that's a lie. I'm trying to say
So
that they're
then what's
phrasing it as they're the
so what's
only.
your
They're not the only ones getting attacked. What's the purpose of phrasing it as
What's your
only
point?
Christians are the ones getting attacked?
hold on. So if the
Yo, use your
majority,
brain, bro. What's kind of low
hold on,
IQ, man?
hold on. If those people I clearly
Mhm.
played it, and we've been seeing this way before Trump came around, right? Boko Haram themselves, they said they want to create a caliphate which non-Muslims can be in. They've made this clear. So you're gonna say Boko Haram is lying about what they said their mission is?
No, I'm not saying they're lying. I'm saying this is the same conflict that stemmed it over 300 years ago when they were doing the Islamic
Hold on,
expansion, right? When they were spreading Islam and selling
let's
slaves. This is the same conflict. It's
okay,
the same conflict. I'm tying it
let's stick
geopolitically back to the history,
hold
right?
on, let's stick with Nigeria. Boko Haram themselves, they've made this clear, and they said this is what they are doing, that's what they are up to. And then we're seeing Christian churches being burned, Christians dying, Christians fleeing. So you are saying that other people, mentioning other people, you say that to say what?
I'm saying this: the conflict is yes, there's some Christians
It's
against
not a
the
conflict,
leaders.
it's a,
There's
it's a
other people
massacre.
also.
It's a massacre. Conflict is if two people are going at it. That's what a conflict is.
I don't
Two
think he really
sides.
cares. He's not in Nigeria, so it don't
How do
directly
I not
affect
care,
him.
bro?
So he don't directly care
Okay.
about the
Are
situation.
you in Nigeria? Are you in Nigeria?
No,
Are you
but
in
I
that?
care
Are you in
about
Nigeria?
Christian
Hold on,
things. I
Let's
care.
allow Fortnite to come in. Go ahead, Fortnite.
I'm not in Nigeria, but I have sympathy for people. It don't sound like he have any sympathy for these black Christians that's being crucified for their religion.
How
It's
do
just
you
so
get that?
unfortunate.
Hold on,
I'm saying why are they
let him
phrasing it in that manner? Why
because
are they
that's
phrasing it in that manner? You
because
can't
that's
answer
what.
that. Answer the
Hold on,
question.
because that's what it is. I mean, I just ask you if the people themselves that are doing it and the people who it's happening to are telling you, the people that are committing this are telling you this. How can you come and say that's not it?
I didn't say it's not it. I'm saying it's bigger
Then
than
what?
just that. They're attacking the whole state of Nigeria. It's basically a jihad.
Okay.
Dude. It's not just you trying to make it seem like they're only attacking the Christians. They're attacking traditionalists. They're attacking Muslims that don't follow the Islam in the manner in which they like. They're attacking the Christians. It's
Okay,
all they're attacking the state of Nigeria. The same thing
okay,
is being done in the Sahel.
oh,
The same thing is being done in Somalia. The same thing is being done in parts of Mozambique. This is the same thing that started 300 years
and
ago.
hold
You're
on,
trying
and
to detail.
hold on, and who is attacking who? Who's attacking who?
Yeah, I don't understand your question. What do you mean by that? I don't understand.
Who are the perpetrators, and who, like for example, Boko Haram said, in your own words, you said they are doing a jihad, right? So they said they are doing
Yeah,
jihad
that's what's going on. That's what's happening.
against non-Muslims, right? So what is your point to say, the traditionalists as well? So okay, they're all getting killed because of faith, because they don't share these people's faith. So why even
Yes,
bring
but
that up?
No, again, like I said, I respect Trump for seeking to. Okay, mama, Vini, Vini. I respect Trump for seeking to help them, but the manner in which he's phrasing it is a slanderous thing
But
that can
hold
lead
on,
to more problems than actually fix.
hold on,
Why
hold
do you have
on.
to phrase it
So
as
because
as
because
a attack on Christians?
because that's what it is. Because that's what it is. I can show you videos of this taking place even way before Trump even came in as president. So forget about what Trump is saying. Let's see the people right here. These are Christians. These are Christians. They live there. This is their community. What do you say to what they are saying? Are they lying? You see that?
No, I never said that they're lying, bro.
Okay, so
I'm not trying to say that they're lying. I'm saying that this issue is a bigger issue to minimize
no.
it.
But you don't bigger than what? Bigger than what? I'm showing you the people.
Come here, mama.
Okay, let's listen.
At a church, while the service was going on, some government came and they killed a lot of people, children, old women, men, and the town has been thrown into mourning since Sunday. That's why we are here. We are here as market women. We are here to commiserate with the people of our. We are here to say that enough is enough.
We have gotten to a stage that, God forbid, if God forbid any war in Nigeria, the international community will be unable to handle the situation. Because considering our population, over 100 million people, imagine such scattering all over West Africa, and even to Europe and the Americas.
All right. You've seen and heard that. What do you say to that?
Okay.
You heard them say the
Again, that's
churches.
terrible. I don't support none of this stuff. And again, it's realistically tied. It's tied to what happened to us 300 years ago, where these people was expanding their Islamic caliphate and all this kind of stuff, and they were selling people. So this is very near and dear to me. So I don't think it should be just relic or marketed or
You've
sold
never
as simply just a Christian issue. This is an
you've
issue
never
with.
hold on. You've never experienced this. Let's just
Yeah,
keep it
I'm listening.
100. Okay, you've never experienced this. You've never lived around this.
Do you
So,
understand some of the history of the transatlantic slave trade, sir?
sir,
Do you understand the history and the connection of
hold on,
Islamic expansion and the transatlantic slave trade, sir? Do you understand the connection?
were you ever a slave?
Do you understand the connection, sir? I know
No,
you
but were
you was
you
a part
ever
of it,
a
right? You was
slave?
Tulane King.
Hold on,
You was a part of the raids.
Let
You
me.
was my answer.
Were you ever a slave? Were you attacked by these people and sold you as a person? Is that
Yes.
your point? Huh?
To be
Okay. So you've experienced this.
My ancestors were. I'm no Hausa. I'm not no
Okay.
Fula.
Okay.
These people, when they were doing the Islamic expansions, they
So
were slaughtering people. They were doing this very action. So to just category, oh, they're just simply attacking them. No, they're attacking Africa.
they are what?
They're attacking the Sahel. They're attacking Nigeria. It's not just simply just a Christian. This is a big deal for you. This I'm not gonna try to. One more time.
Well, it looks like I'm the one here bringing the news and welcoming the solution to this. You are over here. I don't even know what point you are trying to make. Okay, you say, oh, fine.
So
Give us your
what is the
point.
solution?
What is your point?
What's the
What is
solution,
your
Master
point?
Dollar?
No, what is your point?
What is the solution? No, don't run. Don't run. What is the solution, Professor?
Like
What's the
Trump said,
solution? What? No. You. I'm asking you the
I'm
question.
telling you.
What is the solution, Professor?
The solution is for the U.S. government to come in and light them up like Christmas tree. That's the solution.
Last one, okay.
Yes, that's the solution.
Did that work in Somalia?
Well, you just asked me, right?
No, did that work in Somalia, sir?
What do you mean? Did that work in Somalia?
Yeah.
So the point you're
Then
making.
America did that guns blazing thing in Somalia. Didn't work. Then they had to implement AU solution to the issue. Right?
Okay.
Hold on. They had to implement an AU solution to the issue.
Oh, so is that the argument you're making? Is that your argument?
I'm saying that Trump may have a good intentions in quote unquote helping Nigeria with this issue, but the way he's phrasing it, and the way he's marketing it is slanderous and might create more problems than fix.
What's slanderous about it?
Because it is typecasting the issue as simply a Christian issue when it's not. It's a bigger issue where the nation is under attack. The nation as a total is being attacked. The Sahel as a total is being attacked.
No, forget the Sahel.
Africa as a whole is being attacked. Mozambique is being attacked. Central Africa that you don't speak about is being attacked. Sudan is being attacked.
Well, oh really? So did I talk about Sudan here? I'm not getting your point, honestly. If you can make the point,
you did. I respect the other show.
Like what is your point? I'm not getting your point.
All right. Let me make the point in 10 words or less. To basically state that this is simply an attack on the Christians. This could cause a friction between the different other elements that are also impacted by it, such as the Islamic people that are not a part of the extremist people, traditionalists, etc. So rather than say that, they say that they are attacking Islamic extremists.
Huh? Like, what are you talking about? Hello, are you there? Like, what are you talking about, Princip? Do you even understand? Do you even understand like what's going on here?
I'm talking about.
Did you not hear the ladies say gunmen?
Do you understand what's going on? I don't think you understand. You're trying to simplify what is a bigger issue.
Hold on. Did you not just see me play a clip of women saying gunmen came in their church and opened fire on them and killed a bunch of people, unarmed people? Did you not hear that? Hello?
I have. I heard that. It's very terrible. But this is not only happening in their region. This is happening throughout. This is happening throughout. Can you hear me? This is happening. I think they even formatted different mission. What do you call them? Vigilante groups to defend themselves from these type of attacks in different regions in Yoruba land, in Igbo land. They created different militia groups to protect themselves from this issue. This is not just happening in one region. There's market attacks happening in northern Nigeria on every other week basis, where hundreds of people are dying on a weekly basis.
So
there's killings throughout the Sahel. To say there's just only one group is being attacked is a lie.
All right. Well, thank you for your wonderful take on this. You seem to be very knowledgeable about this. Thank you. Atcha, what do you want to say with your last point?
Yeah, I was just reading here a little bit on some of these things. I was looking at the money to Nigeria. I guess this August, the United States okay 300 and something million to Nigeria for weapons. In 2022, they all authorized almost $1 billion for weapons. Joe Biden in 2021 released some hold that gave more millions, hundreds of millions more weapons or approved purchases of weapons to Nigeria. So it seems like they're getting a significant amount of funds or for weapons from the U.S. or purchasing weapons from the U.S. And then I guess one of the presidents of Nigeria said in 2019, essentially Boko Haram is dead, essentially functionally gone, essentially. So maybe Nigerian government has stomped it out, but the causes of the conflict seem to be, I guess, that northern region, because I was reading that there is it's more Islamic. I don't know how much political rights they have in that northern region. It seems like education and some infrastructural development and things like that are lacking in that region, even though Nigeria has wealth from oil and other things. And so some of these things can lead to issues for the population and can lead to violence over time, as people try to jockey for power. So, and they're also active in all them border states, Cameroon, Chad, all that stuff. So, the U.S. has been helping Nigeria essentially already. So if we're not talking about boots on the ground, then because one of them talked about logistics, we're helping with logistics and all this type of stuff for military campaigns and stuff. So we're already helping. So if we want to keep helping in that way, that's fine. But in order to, you got to start investing in that area too, and the people, and make sure people have political rights and stuff like that, so that they don't feel the need to fight. Um, for what they need, So it's kind of a deep thing. By the way, I read too, ISIL is not dead. I mean, at least AI says that, has not been destroyed. While the group lost territorial caliphate in the Iraq and Syria in 2019, it has transformed into a really resilient and adaptive global insurgency network that continues to pose a significant threat. That's what it says. So
And
anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
and should they be hunted and wiped out?
I mean, I'm all for fighting these extremist groups. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is that
Why is it so hard for you people to answer a straight yes or no on these issues? Like, why do you need to, polish it and like what's that all about?
No, that's what I'm saying. Who says that they should not be defeated and wiped out?
I mean, I'm just curious. It's like I mean, we clearly seeing it's a group who it's not like it's an equal fight. They go into churches where it's like innocent people who are not armed, they opening fire on them, killing them. I've shown Sudan over here, and obviously we agree that they are evil. But when the question is asked that should these people be stopped, wiped out, it's like it's just a tough to give answer. Like, what's that all about?
No, I mean,
You want more?
Obama, under Obama.
Okay.
I'm just asking you. I mean, I didn't talk to
Yeah,
Obama. I'm just saying. I'm just
just
asking
saying.
you directly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm all for that, but I'm just saying that you
Yeah,
can
you all for
fight
it,
these
but you put
people.
a but. Okay.
You got to fight these people and destroy these people. Yes, I'm all with that. I'm just saying that at the same time, in order to destroy these ideas and these institutions, you got to build something and include these people into something else that they can do that allows them not to join,
Give
so
me a
that
minute.
these things don't continue to expand. You see, it's like asking me, am I all for the cartels to get destroyed? Yes, I'm all for that. You know what I mean? But the reality of what we're facing is these things have existed for
No, no, no,
decades. So
no.
we have to have other
Answer.
things for them.
All right. Well, thank
So
you
it
so
becomes more of
much.
a permanent solution, is what I'm saying. I'm going for a more permanent solution, not just every few
So
years we're gonna
so
stamp this one
so
out,
so
let's stamp that
so
one
what
out, let's
so
stamp that one, let's
so
stamp that one
so
out.
so wiping them out is not a permanent solution?
Yes, it's permanent for that particular group. But remember, when we went into Iraq and Afghanistan, right? You had Al Qaeda, right? We went into Iraq. The Sunnis had power, the Shia didn't. When we went over there, we kicked the Sunnis out of power.
Wait,
Then the
this is
Sunnis
not
rise up
this
in
is
an
not
insurgency.
Iraq. This is not Iraq. I'm just asking.
No, but
People who were like going to, you know, towns, churches, you know, kidnapping, you know, women and children, killing everybody. Should those people
yes,
be fought
those
and completely
people
wiped out? That's all I'm
should
asking.
be fought and wiped out. But what I'm saying to you,
jeez.
Afrodamus, and I think you understand what I'm saying. I know you're not this dense. Because you stamp out one group, another group will rise.
Okay, forget about what is gonna rise. Let's deal with hold on. Let's forget about what we don't know. Let's deal with what we have in front of us.
Itself has already split into two, according to some other thing I was just reading.
Oh,
they have
geez.
already
Okay.
split.
Well, thank you,
my
Actor.
point is, if
thank
you
you.
don't,
You're not gonna you are not going to answer the question, but thank you.
I answered the question.
Okay, thank you.
So let me ask you a question. You are for stamping them out and killing them all, right? I'm for stamping them out and killing them all. So when the next
then the answer should just stop there.
Yes. So, but what
you know, I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't deal with.
What do you do in that situation?
I can deal. Stamp them out too.
Okay. All right. Cool.
What you did not you didn't think about that answer?
No, I thought about that answer. I'm just saying that
then
you got, because the issues of Nigeria, it's a state issue. The issue of Nigeria is that they have certain resources and the resources are not being spread, and the political power sometimes in these states are not being spread to the all over through the population, and so you have these things popping up all the time. So if you want to solve this issue, you got to not only stamp it out, yes, but you got to do things that allows for it to become less likely that these things happen. Why is it in the United States you have problems? Of course. Why is it in the United States you don't have this type of stuff happening to this level? You know what I mean? Where you literally have, in Mexico, same thing. You have the cartel literally controlling whole chunks of the country. Now, the government still has a lot of power. They go in and take out the biggest members and all that still, right? But yet still, you know, the centralized state is not powerful enough to totally like wipe these guys out for some reason. But you don't have that happening here in the United States. You see what I'm saying? And so maybe some of the policies in the United States, some of the things the United States does needs to be adopted by these states, so you're less likely to have these things popping up to the level where it's safe, not safe for people to go everywhere in Nigeria. You know,
does it have something to do with, you know, people here being armed and the country being very, you know, strong militarily?
That's one factor. There's a strong centralized state.
So, for example, if you're in a territory under the jurisdiction of a central government and they have laws saying you cannot own weapons, they will protect you. You live there, you pay taxes, you are under their protection. But here comes another group from outside, you know, whatever agenda they gather together and, you know, killing you and your group. But you are not allowed to have no weapons. So the people who are designated as protecting you and not protecting, they're not protecting you. What would you do in that case?
Well, for one, it's not just about the weapons, ownership of weapons, because I can point to you plenty of countries where citizens don't.
So wait a minute. You think if those Christians in that church have the same firepower to match these people, do you think they would just roll up on them and start killing them like they are doing?
Okay, Afrodamus, remember when I
no, just answer my question. Do you think if those Christians had weapons just like the people coming at them constantly, because they are easy target. They are sitting ducks. Do you think Boko Haram would be doing what they are doing to them?
I think they would still be doing it, but the people would be able to put up a fight. And remember, I talked to you about it
So,
earlier when I called in.
Archer, wait a minute,
One second, brother. One
Archer,
second. Let me just say this.
hold on a
Mm,
minute.
mm.
Let me rephrase my question to you again. If you have a gun,
yes,
the person you trying to go after, they have the
yes,
same matching thing.
yes.
Don't you think you would think twice?
Arfradamus, you would think twice. I'm agreeing with
That's
you. I
the
don't understand why you're not getting it, bro.
then
Listen,
okay.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Remember, I brought it up earlier.
I'm not even
today
understanding.
that the
I'm not
government of
understanding
Nigeria,
this.
I brought it up earlier that the government of Nigeria, why is it that they're not arming these people to fight for themselves if the government itself can't defend them? I'm for that.
So now you understand. Now you
No,
understand
I
why.
said that before you did. But my point is that that's like saying to me, right, that because I'm in a gang and you're in a gang and we both have guns, that some of my gang members are still going to attack and my gang members are still going to attack. It still goes back and forth. It's not
All
that
right.
you don't have to think.
Well, thank you.
You don't have to think two
Hold
times
on.
or be more strategic, but you'll still attack.
Well, thank you.
But
I
at
mean,
least you can
this
defend
is
yourself. So I'm for the defense of themselves.
all right.
I'm saying I'm for that.
Well, thank you for the last statements. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Principal, last closing statements. Are you there? Okay, Principal, last closing.
Sure, Mama. Yeah, hold on, quiet. Yeah, my point is that I respect Trump. You okay? Really? I respect Trump. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
It's a lot of noise. You have a lot of background noise.
Yeah, my point is simply that I respect Trump trying to help them, but he can't necessarily not the demonize, but basically categorize it as such because it creates too much. Oh, okay. That's my kids, man. I got kids, man. But I'm gonna leave it there, man. But you can't just simplify it just like that. But I do agree that they do need more state police and all the other things that they need. So I do respect Trump for his system, but you can't uh categorize the issues such as that or simplify the issues such as that. It's a bigger issue. It's cross borders, cross region, and to simplify it as such is bad. Mama, I'll check please. All right. But salute to you, Professor. And tell Moise, I am not no Bakongo. I'm a mixed tribe. I'm with the definition of an African. I come from different regions in Africa. I'm not a Bakongo. All right. So he can play house all he want. But realistically speaking, there's this issue is cross border. It's in Mozambique. It's in Central Africa. It's still affecting Somalia.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, you guys seen and heard that. I mean, like, really, what's going on? Like, why? It's like, I mean, I try to throw out like simple, common sense questions. Simple, common sense questions. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I even ask, do you think those people in that church, the church people, do you think if they have matching guns everywhere in their community, do you think, those Boko Haram people would roll up on them like that? They are rolling up on them because those people don't have any weapons to fire back. That's why they are doing it. Plain and simple. You don't have to be a genius to know this. You don't have to be a genius to know this. This is why before I dropped the link, I made it clear that, if you're coming in for Therapy Sunday, that's next week. Today we're talking about Nigeria. If you want to talk about ancient history, slave story, That's not today. That's not today. So, I mean, I'm glad I was able to bring this news in. So this is what's going on over there. So hopefully, you know, when the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, sits down with President Trump, they can come up with a solution to finally get rid of Boko Haram, because Boko Haram is a problem, you know, for Nigeria as a nation. You know, it seems like they would not allow the country to move forward. So that's all I'm saying. You know, bringing you the news of what's happening. But I think some of these people are just caught up in their feelings. They think I'm the one creating all this. I'm the one creating it, you know, and then like I'm over there putting all these things together. So therefore, they're coming to attack me. And also, it doesn't matter because it's Trump. And even if he comes up with the cure of cancer, someone will come and say, you know, yes, it's a good thing he came up with the cure of cancer, but they will put a but there, you know. But the way he did it, the cure, the way he explained it on TV, I'm not really with it. Okay, so, but thank you for watching. Please like and share, and I will see you guys on the next one. Let's see, it's still, the night's still young. I still have a couple topics in mind. I might come back. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Lend thy ears to the Afridamers. Pay attention to the Afridamers. The true Soninke warrior. Naturalist his intelligence. As a true professor. Solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afridamers will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afridamers will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afridamers. Lend thy ears to the Afridamers is the truth and no doubt.